So here we are. I'm in a rear naked choke.
Trying not to put it too hard on you so you can actually talk. Yeah. I'm like, where's my hands going? I want him to be able to talk on this instructional. Hey everybody, it is Matt Powell with Pramek.com. I have Dave Dempsey here from Pramek Detroit.
Hey everybody, one of the questions that was asked was things like how to escape from a rear naked choke. So we're going to kind of demo a few different ideas here. As a whole though, a standing rear naked choke I don't personally feel is kind of a legitimate threat. It's a lot of things would have to happen before you got there, and kind of paraphrase from other people, you kind of would have fucked up a long time ago before that really got on. It's not somebody coming up behind you and bear hugging you. It's not somebody coming up and throwing you in a headlock. Those are relatively simple movements that can really just be thrown on. But a rear naked choke has some complexity to it that really it just doesn't happen out of nowhere. So throw me in one here, I'll show you what I mean. So here we are. I'm in a rear naked choke.
Trying not to put it too hard on you so you can actually talk. I'm like, where's my hands going? I want him to be able to talk on this instructional.
So I'm here, I'm about to get choked. As you can see, my posture's pulled back. So he's got me in, a fairly good control position. You'll see some other stuff. First and foremost, what you need to do though, is you need to establish your base. I'm kind of stretched out right now, I'm leaning backwards. So first things first.
You want to show?
Yeah, okay. Look at my spine here. I'm pretty stretched out. What I need to do is be here. Now I've got a good posture again, I'm straight up and down. You can see, straight line, straight to the ground for me. I'm comfortable here. Still in a bad spot, but I can get out. Let's come back around here. So I've re-established it. I've seen some other ones, and you kind of see them throughout the community where people try to reach up and grab the face and twist around and come through. I think that's somewhat highly dependent, especially if somebody just immediately comes up and grabs you. You want to be feeling around for the face, trying to stop it. And what I'm going to try to do is re-establish my base here, get control of the arm to keep it from choking the shit out of me, and then from here, I'm going to create space and I'm going to spiral into him, turn around and face him. So move the foot here, and I'm just going to kind of sneak out the side and come back in. And then back in here, I've got a good control position. From here, I can stage another attack, and he's in a pretty shitty position himself. I can plow him in the knees, head, I can throw him to the ground. Got plenty of options from here, and I've got good control. That's the key point there.
One of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this is we were getting done with a training day and we were talking about the realities of what's out there for martial art and the realities of combatives and so forth. And people show nonsense on the internet a lot of the time. And so we wanted to make sure that I can't find, if you look at LiveLeak, and I talk about LiveLeak on people's podcasts and interviews and everything all the time, that LiveLeak is not your uncle's brother who got into a fight outside of a bar. It is video evidence of what we see. Very rarely are you ever going to find, you will see a lot of headlocks, you'll see a lot of bear hugs, front and back. The only time you're ever going to see a rear naked choke is if they're seated, which is a completely different situation, or if somebody's being dragged out of the fight. But there is a tendency out there for people to teach the rear naked choke standing up and then make a big deal out of it with all these cool moves. And it's not an accurate thing.
Not at all. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying a rear naked choke is not a dangerous position to be in. It's a horrible position to be in. I mean, you can literally be killed there. So you could choke somebody unconscious and beat them to death. What we're saying is the standing rear naked choke is a whole different animal than one on the ground where you have lost mobility, somebody's on your back, and they're going to choke you to death. So you have a lot more options, and the danger is not quite there. I mean, you can pull me around. It's a good control position, but it's not going to be something where somebody's going to walk up to somebody and just choke them unconscious. I've probably never seen one on LiveLeak myself. And in various judo and jiu-jitsu competitions, I've never seen a rear naked choke pulled off standing.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen. And the primary reminder is that if you're going to be teaching and you're going to be doing stuff, when you look at your students, take a look at what's out there. Look up. I always talk about it. If you want to learn how knife fights happen, go on LiveLeak and look at knife fights. Go on World Star Hip Hop if you want to know how people get in a fight in McDonald's. Like, there's ways to go out and find this data without relying on your uncle's cousin's brother or your sensei who experienced this in Vietnam. So you can go out there, you can get the data, you can talk to different sportsmen, you can talk to different people that are out there teaching, start to put it together for yourself, and this is when you begin to focus on doing one thing extremely well, which is what you just did. Getting that down, getting the mechanics of it down, and get it down and learn that one thing, and then use those neural pathways to learn 5 things in another situation where you really, really need options versus learning 5 things for something that rarely ever happens in a combative situation. Anyway, we appreciate it. I'm Matt Powell at Pramek.com.
Dave Dempsey, PramekDetroit.com.
And make sure you subscribe below.
I was just giving you the 5.